Okay, so welcome to the channel. This is part 2 of the CompTIA 601 exam. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. So we're going to be going on from, let's say, 10 to 20. It's going to be a series of exposition on the training content based on the 5 core domains, which is attack, threats and vulnerabilities, architecture and design, implementation, operations and incident response, governance, risks, and compliance. So let's right on and talk about threat hunting. So what's threat hunting? So as cybersecurity analyst, when you are talking about threat hunting, you want to be concerned about seeing a way to understand how these threats happen and create a sort of model, a kind of pattern so that you can actually better make some implementations that forestalls these threats. So it's not like the conventional attack methodology that you're going to use to do threat hunting. Here, you're trying to actually look at patterns, look at ways that these threats happen, and try to create a kind of a program that will help you mitigate these threats. So let's look at some important concepts. Threat hunting. This is designed to detect presence of threats that are not discovered by normal security monitoring. So how do you detect something that a SEM, for instance? That's a top 5 SEMs. That's security incidents and enterprise management solution. A security incidents and events management, sorry. So you have Splunk, you have AT&T, you have NetWitness, you have Logarithm, you have ArcSight, you have SolarWinds. Most popular ones here are SolarWinds and Splunk. So how do you kind of see things that these guys are not going to see, right? How do you see them? So if you have an information or incident and event management system, for any incident, for any information, for any alert that's going to happen, if your applications cannot track them, how better can you be able to see most of these things? Then establishing hypothesis. Like I said earlier on, that cybersecurity has moved from you trying to run a software and the rest. Is that going to what we call AI, what we call intelligence gathering, what we call machine learning, what we call modeling, where you follow a, let's say, 4-5 process of the AI or the data model process. So it starts from you. I think on the channel, I did an extensive record on that, on the data science process. So it's something like this. That's from data collection, analysis, then you do exploratory, you do modeling, then you do deployment. So this is what we call, you have different frameworks. There's what they call the OSTMC model. So, but you could use this model to understand what is actually happening. So if you want to apply data modeling, data science to machine learning, or rather to cybersecurity, we will say that how can we tell that this particular attack is an anomaly, or this particular incident is an anomaly, or this particular file, or this particular threat? We need to collect data, right? Once we collect data, we need to clean it. We need to do some exploratory data analysis, things like do some charts, do some bar charts, do some. That's why you see some SEM tools are going to be having like a chart. Because take, for instance, if you have traffic to a website, and in some certain days you have a thorough spike in traffic, one thing you're going to be asking yourself is that, take for instance, every day you get 5-10 visitors. Then in a certain day you get like 2,000 visitors. That is an anomaly. And you're not running ads, you're not running campaigns, you're not running. So an exploratory data analysis will be us trying to do the software doing a chart and try to see the trends, do some kind of trend analysis. Then if we do that, then we're gonna start building a model. The model is just like how the future is going to be like what, like a formula of what has been, or rather what has been in the past. So if we can see some kind of trend, some kind of relationship with some activities we have within our system, we can now have a model and deploy that model. So in cybersecurity, we are applying learnings from, so anybody that is into data analytics, into machine learning, this is going to be a lot of fun for you. Now, when we talk about hypothesis, is what are we thinking? We say, okay, a spike in traffic is related to, let's say, an attack, or a spike in traffic is related to this. So those are just hypotheses. Those are just like things that you are proposing that might be true or might be false. So it's always based on potential events with higher likelihood or higher impact. So what is going to amount to a breach? What is going to amount to an attack? What is going to amount to this? What is going to amount to that? They will also need to now start profiling threat actors and activities. Threat actors are going to be either who is going to be responsible, or what device is responsible, or what IP address is responsible, or what email is responsible, and of course, the different activities. This involves the creation of scenario that shows how a prospective attacker might attempt an intrusion and what the objectives might be. A regular penetration testing or a SIEM or a software might not be able to do this for you. So this involves thorough planning. Later on in this program, I'm going to talk about incident response. So incident response has to do, because it's also what's it called? It's also a domain. So we're saying, if you have an incident, how do we respond? So we have incident response plan by NIST and some other framework. NIST, I mean. Wow. This response. What's happening? Is it that I'm entering on doing something else? Okay. So in the NIST incident response framework, like a US standard. Let's open this and see what it looks like. So you see preparation for an incident response, detection, containment, then post-incident. So you don't just plan for an incident just from the blues. There's a lot of planning that happens. There's a way you plan for a virus. There's a way you plan for a Trojan. There's a way you plan for a, what's it called? A data breach, that is data theft. There's a way you plan for a phishing. There's a way you plan. You have different types of attacks and you plan differently. So that when anything happens, and those plans, at times we call them playbooks. They're just series of actions that you need to take in order to like mitigate some type of attacks. I think, let me see if I can get you a little brief. This is just like an insight, incident response plan, I think .org, something of that nature. They have incident response. Okay, let me remove the plan. Let me see if I can. Okay, good. Yes. So this consortium puts together a very, very awesome guide on how we should respond to incidents. And it's a long process. It's not something you do in 2 days or 3 days. So it takes a whole lot of planning. So in threat modeling, right? In threat hunting, we're trying to say, how do we profile? How do we create different scenarios, because things are not going to happen only in a particular way. What's wrong with my internet? These are not going to happen just in a particular way. These are going to happen in varying ways. So how do we try to create a scenario? And this scenario, we have a second scenario, we have a third scenario, we have a fifth scenario. And for each of the different scenarios, how do we mitigate those attacks? In the channel, I have a very comprehensive training on SOC, a training that is targeted at SOC analysts. That is Cisco's Cybersecurity Operations Associate. Cybersecurity Operations Associate. So operations has to do with SOC, Security Operations Center. So you have different playbooks that tells how we will mitigate these attacks, whether it's phishing. So check out this website, incidentsresponse.org, Open the playbook, you will see the different plans for different types of attacks. Are you there? You see the plans for different, or the playbooks for different types of attack. If you have questions, don't forget to comment. If you have questions with respect to the plans that you're seeing, you can ask the questions and I'm going to respond to you. So you want to have the different scenarios. Then things you want to be doing is you want to analyze traffic. You want to analyze the execution process list. You can use the tool like, what's it called again? If I remember, I'm going to mention it. So, skipped my memory now. I think I have it on this laptop also. What it can do is going to tell you the different process IDs of the different activities into the laptop, after the laptop, their IP address and the rest. You have it by one of these Microsoft ex-employee. I think I covered most of this concept and I did them hands-on in the digital forensic class. And you have that on the channel. Okay, resources. I think you need to go to the playbooks engine. Okay, so this is it. So if you have a malware outbreak, if you have a phishing attack, if you have data theft, if you have unauthorized access, all of these are different types of attacks. So you have a PDF plan you can adapt for your own enterprise, for your own company, on how you can follow the NIST framework to prepare, detect, analyze, contain, eradicate, recover, and do post-incident handling. Right? So you see the PDF is very, very explicit and very, very detailed. So you could take this, you could adapt it for your organization. Now, if you are doing information security policy documents, incident response plan for a client of yours, you can adapt this and create something custom for them on how they can mitigate phishing. So, and it follows the NIST framework. So it's very, very detailed plan, very, very detailed plan. So threat hunting consumes a lot of resources and time to conduct, like I said, but it yields a lot of benefits. Improved detection capabilities, integrating